Hello, friends. Kai Gabriel here with Divya Stone's crystal casting divination readings. This is my first posted monthly reading for you all, for the collective. I'm going to be focusing on the month ahead for June 2026, and we're going to see what themes show up. This is a video that you can watch throughout the month. You can reference it, go back to it, and see if things that may not feel relevant today in the reading, maybe a week from now, these energies and these properties and these messages from spirit will show up in a bigger way. So feel free to listen to this more than once. I definitely appreciate any shares, comments, likes. Please visit the link in my bio and check out how to connect with me. I do private readings via Zoom and telephone, and I'd be happy to connect with you one-on-one. So appreciate all your support. And just to start off intuitively this month, I'm feeling a lot of energy shifting, going from a quieter, just energy into more action as the month goes on. And we'll see how that shows up in the reading. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull the stones for the reading, and then I will give you a close-up of the board with the stones on the board so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's pull. I'm going to go ahead and pull 5 stones since this is a month-long reading. And I pull them randomly from the bag because I know the stones really well. And so if I choose them from this tray, which you would do if you were getting a reading, you would choose your stones, then I might skew the reading by picking certain stones. So let's see what we've got here. I'm picking 5, and I'm going to take the pairs from this board. So we've got rose quartz, red jasper, moss agate, tiger eye, and hematite. And this does not surprise me at all, since these stones are already reflecting some of the energy that I'm intuitively feeling coming up. So we're just asking Spirit to please show us what we need to know for the month of June in the collective, and as this reading applies to many different people, just knowing that the perfect messages from Spirit are showing up, guidance, tools, etc. And we give thanks for this. Okay. And now I'm going to pull a random one from the bag. They're all random, but this is the guide stone. This is the energy that Spirit is choosing for us as our overall theme for the month. Nice. Okay. I'm going to pause and give you a close-up, and we'll continue the reading. Okay, so now we have a close-up of the board, and I just wanted to bring into the space that it is the full moon, the blue moon today in Sagittarius. And I don't know about you all, but I didn't sleep much last night. The Sagittarius full moon energy has really got me in a place of just feeling a little bit energized, even though I didn't get much sleep, and also excited about what's coming. So I hope y'all are feeling that. And let's just dive into the reading. I always start with the stone in the middle, the one that came out of the bag at the end of the drawing. This is called the guide stone, and this is the energy Spirit has chosen as kind of an overall theme for the month of June. And once again, we have labradorite. If you have watched the more recent videos that I have posted, this is the 3rd time that labradorite has shown up as the guide stone in a row. So what this is telling me is that Spirit is really wanting us to continue to focus on our intuition our inner guidance system, our higher self, to bring us into a place of alignment, okay? So there's so much going on in the world right now that is difficult. And when we lean into the intuition, when we lean into the inner voice and we listen to that and we feel into what spirit is guiding us to do, and we allow ourselves to become a vessel for that voice and for that knowledge and wisdom, we are going to be able to navigate what's going on in the world a lot better. And times are tough, right? Energy's tough. There's a lot going on that's disturbing, that's harmful, that's lower vibrational energies, and we have to be able to not turn away from it and bury our heads in the sand by any means, but we need to be able to navigate it and keep ourselves grounded in what is real. And what is real is our higher self, okay? So this is what the Labradorite really is about for the month of June. Trust your intuition, lean into it, go within. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, it's too much, I can't handle this, take a breath, take a beat, calm yourself down, and give yourself time and space to just be, okay? So that's kind of the overall theme. Now I'm going to look at what makes the most sense for kind of where we're going here. Let's see. So I'm going to start with the rose quartz. So this is interesting because this energy feels relevant for both the beginning and towards the end of the month. Rose quartz is a very soft energy. It's a heart stone. It's about emotions. It's heart healing. It's soothing. It's like the sweet, sweet mother energy that just enwraps us with love and helps us to feel like everything is going to be okay. All right. And so towards the beginning of the month, we're really going to pay attention to our emotions, be with them, feel them, also remembering that they are temporary and that they will shift, okay, if things are difficult. But we have this beautiful love energy that wants to come in. So this is our relationship section. Here's one of the rose quartz. And then the other one is here in the life path section. All these stones are in pairs because there's a connection between these two areas of your life, okay? So what we've got going on, and this feels a little bit more like it might be coming towards the end of the month after we deal with our emotions, is this is the symbol in the relationship section that has to do with romance. And it's the only one that specifically means that. Every other symbol in here could pertain to friends, family, community members, etc., all our relationships, but this one is specifically a romantic relationship. And then over here in our life path section, this is beginnings, endings, obstacles on the path, decisions, that sort of thing. This one landed on the crossroads, which sure enough is about choices, decisions. Which way are we going? Where are we headed? So if you do not have a romantic relationship in your life and you are not in a place where you are interested in one or trying to call one in or anything like that, this could be for you about a past romantic relationship that you're still healing from, because this has got that heart healing energy with the rose quartz. So apply this to your life as it applies to you. Okay. So looking at romance, looking at either past, present, or future romantic relationships, we are being asked right now to do some deep heart healing work, no matter where we are with romance, okay? So especially for those of you who are trying to call in a romantic relationship, too many times we dive into a relationship before we're ready, before we've done the healing work. Now, of course, we can't be completely healed before we get into a relationship because that's a lifelong journey. However, we know, right, when we listen to our intuition, as the Labradorite is telling us, we know deep down if we're ready or not. And a lot of us will dive into a relationship because we're lonely, we're uncomfortable. We don't like this having to look at ourselves and having to sit with our own emotions. And so we want that distraction, that new and exciting romance, or we want to be in our current relationship. We want to blame all of our emotions on our current partner or partners. And that is also not going to serve us. So it is time to focus on yourself. Take responsibility for your emotions. Don't project them on your partner. Don't get into a relationship if you're not ready to not project your emotions. And then we've got the crossroads here, which is about making a decision. You're coming up on a crossroads here. Some of you are going to need to decide if your current relationship is still serving you, if it's still viable, if it's still full of love, if it's still something you want to pursue. And others are going to need to decide whether or not to get into a relationship, or need to decide what do you want for your next relationship. And so many of us don't think about that. We just dive in and, oh, he's so nice, or she's so lovely, or they make me feel good, or whatever. That's not enough. This needs to be very, very mindful. So when it comes to your romance, please take some time to get that emotional clarity before you move forward, whether you're currently in one or not. So that's the rose quartz. Now I want to focus on, let's see, I want to focus on the red jasper next. Okay. Red jasper is basically, it's a stone of vitality. It brings this energy. It's like a power boost. It brings in this vital life force energy that helps us to get through the difficult things. It helps us to feel excited. It ignites our passion. It gives us momentum. It gives us drive. This is a great stone for, getting things done and bringing passion and energy into whatever it is you're focusing on. One of them is in the life path section, just like the rose quartz. The other one is in the family section, or the lineage section, I sometimes call it. This is not your family the way it's today, right? This is your family of origin, childhood stuff, ancestral patterns, things that are passed down through the lineage. And this is right in between the carousel horse and the dagger. Yes, that's a dagger. It's all pretty and dressed up, but sometimes, sometimes betrayal is pretty and all dressed up, right? And then over here, we've got the caterpillar. All right, so what does this mean? These two symbols are not really opposing, but the dagger represents all of the little betrayals that happened to you in your childhood that caused you to have beliefs about yourself that are false. Like, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'll never live up, to my potential. Nobody loves me. I'm not lovable. All of these things, because we get these little cuts, and they can come from our parents. They can come from schoolmates. They can come from teachers. They can come from any number of people in our lives, spiritual leaders, right? And so what we want to do is, as we're doing this heart healing with the rose quartz, examine also, where did these little cuts happen? How did we get to where we are with our own self-esteem, with our self-awareness, with our view of who we are and our worthiness. Okay. So examining the betrayals, right? And sometimes this is self-betrayal, by the way. Sometimes this is the way you're talking to yourself. So cut it out. If it's not something that gives you this vital life force energy that boosts you and lifts you up, if it's cutting you down, stop it. Okay. So stop the self-betrayal. Focus on that. Become aware of that. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can catch yourself when you're doing it and go, that's not my truth. What's going to be uplifting here? Now, what we have that's somewhat opposing is the carousel horse, which is representative of all the things in childhood that were wonderful, magical, beautiful, imagination, make-believe, right? This is a world of magic that children are so easily in tune with, right? As adults, we get a little jaded. We forget that there's magic all around us. So the carousel horse is about bringing back some of that childlike wonder and awe into our lives, and really just being playful, not taking things so seriously, having fun, going through life. Yes, we have to take care of our responsibilities, but it doesn't have to be a drag all the time, right? So to bring this boost of this wonderful energy back in, I want you to tap into your inner child, the one that was happy and had some good experiences, the one that was excited and imaginative and just could walk outside and see the simplest thing, like a little bug on the ground, and just go, wow, that's amazing, right? Bringing back that energy, for remembering to be in awe. Okay, that's going to give that power boost that you need. And then on your life path, the caterpillar represents new beginnings. So I'm feeling like this energy is probably falling more mid-month, that there's going to be some opportunities for some unfulfilled pursuits that you have been wanting to dive into, for networking, meeting new people, embarking on a new journey. And this also kind of represents curiosity, which goes in alignment with that childlike energy. Children are so naturally curious. Activate your curiosity about things, whether it's situations or people or your relationships or just the world around you. What do you want to learn? The caterpillar represents that beginner mind, right? Where you're open and you're willing to learn. And you're not in this egoic place of feeling like, oh, yeah, whatever, I already know that. Okay, so maybe you do already know something about that, but what more could you learn? How could you be more open-minded and have that excitement of, like a child who's going to first grade, and it's the first day of school and they're so excited to learn, and they've got all their supplies and they're ready to go, and they've got their little lunchbox and all of that. So I want you to bring in that childlike energy, like you're having the first day of school, okay? And mid-month, I want you to watch for these opportunities for new beginnings, um, and and also some intellectual pursuits, right? Something that you can learn. Maybe take a class or read a book or get, watch some YouTube videos to educate on certain things. Just be discerning about what you're taking in, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay, so that's the red jasper. Again, probably mid-month. And then I'm going to go back into the relationship section so we can finish that up. This is your moss agate. This landed right on top of the drama masks, comedy tragedy. Okay, so this represents how you express emotion in the container of your relationships. Okay. This is a tricky one for a lot of people. And again, this goes for all relationships. It's not just romance. A lot of us really are not very expressive of our emotions with our friends, our family, whatever. We'll do it to a degree, but we hold back because we have fear. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to experience repercussions. We don't want to be rejected because of how we feel. So that's what this symbol has to do with. And then your other moss agate is up here. This is your purpose and livelihood section. And this one is right by the key. And the key is a somewhat representative of untapped potential, things that you have not really fully explored yet, and potential that's coming. So what this means for you is part of your purpose in your relationships right now is to learn and grow in the area of that expressed emotion, that authentic expression. Okay, that is one of your goals for June. That's one of your lessons for this month. And again, that goes back to that emotion, being very in touch with our emotions. And again, I feel that towards the beginning of the month, right now, in fact, especially with this full moon, which can be very emotional for a lot of people to explore that. Okay, so what is your untapped potential here? What are you able to expand on in your expression of those relationships and those emotions? We've got moss agate. Moss agate is a stone of prosperity. It's a stone of abundance. It brings us what we need. When I say prosperity and abundance, that's not always money. It's not always material things. It's an abundance of love, an abundance of safety, an abundance of freedom. Okay. And so that's what we're looking for here is this emotional safety. And we're going to practice that in our relationships right now. So when you're trying to express yourself to someone and they are not listening or they're dismissing you, or you are feeling unsafe because they're criticizing how you feel, it's time to turn that key, unlock that door, and say, what is the potential here? This is an opportunity for me to share with this person that I'm feeling unsafe. I'm trying to express myself to you, and the way you're reacting to me is making me feel unsafe to express my emotions. Here's what I need. Here's what I need for emotional safety. Can we work on that together, please? And what do you need, by the way, for your emotional safety? Because I'm also willing to be a safe space for you. This is reciprocal. This is, how are you not being a safe space for your people? And how can you express to your people what you need from them? Okay, this is a big, big learning curve for you. Okay. Now, maybe you are a very safe space and you don't have that, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you're not a safe space. Maybe when people come to you, you're constantly judging their feelings and you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, this person is so dramatic. I don't know why they're always, spewing their emotions everywhere, right? That's not safe either, right? So you need to check yourself. Where are you needing improvement, needing to tap into that potential? And where do you need to speak up about that so that you have that abundance of safety and security in your relationships? This is also a stone that's very grounded energy. It's very connected to the earth, and it reminds us to be resourceful. So if you're struggling in a big way with a certain relationship in your life and you need help, this is saying reach out, get help, tap into resources. You don't have to do this alone. There's so much out there about healthy communication, and there's so much out there in the way of support, counseling, therapy, all the things that are needed to do this. So this is saying tap into your resources, get help when you need it, okay? So since we're already in this section, we're going to talk about the hematite. The other hematite is in your spiritual world. Okay, this is about where you are spiritually, lessons that you're learning, things you can focus on in the spiritual realm to help guide you in your life and where you're headed. This again is purpose and livelihood. Now, the hematite is not touching any particular symbol. It's really kind of in the middle of these four. So when that happens, we're just going to look at this as a theme instead of assigning it. Over here, kind of the same, but it is closest to the air element. This little cloud here represents the element of air. These outer four symbols are the seasons and the elements. So we're close to the air element here, but also a general theme in spirituality. Hematite is very, very grounding. It's very, very protective. It is so solid that it helps us to get rooted. Okay, so first of all, that means it's time to get more rooted in your spirituality. Spend a little more time this month figuring out what works for you spiritually in terms of practices, connection, community. And get rid of what's not working, by the way. Then in your purpose and livelihood, get very, very grounded in your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? Whether it is job related or it's something you do on the side, okay? Also, feeling into your livelihood. Is this working for you? Is this a grounded, stable energy for you? Does this feel secure? Is it time for a change? Is it time for new boundaries? That's what's going on in this realm, okay? The other thing that hematite really helps us with is equilibrium, balance, walking the middle path, one foot in the human world and one foot in the spirit world. And I find it kind of fascinating that's exactly where these stones landed, right? So we want to approach life, especially in the area of work and purpose, from that balanced perspective. We can't just be in the woo-woo all the time because we have practical things we have to do. We need a paycheck. We've got to pay our bills, most of us. And we have to take steps to do what we need to do in the human world, okay? And we can't be so heavily focused on this that we forget about spiritual guidance, that we are walking hand in hand with spirit, that we are not doing this alone. And we often forget that because we get so caught up in the human details that we feel like, or we tell ourselves that we don't have time. So this is balance, bringing that equilibrium back in and saying, no, 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 not only do I have time for both, but both are equally as important, and I need to make time for both. So kind of assess where you might be off balance and which one of these do you need to give more energy to for this month, okay? And when you bring that balance in, you're going to feel better emotionally. You're going to feel more secure, more solid, and then you can take better advantage of this power boost energy that red jasper is wanting to bring in. So this is going to be important to, really make the most of your situation with that balance. Okay. So the last stone that we're going to look at now is your tiger eye. And one is in the spiritual world and one is this is your personal growth and personal attributes section. Attributes are things like strengths, weaknesses, talents, gifts, personality traits, etc. So what we have is tiger eye. Now, I absolutely love tiger eye, and it is a really great stone for this month because this month is later in the month, we're being called into our confidence. We're being asked to stand in the truth of who we are. And that's what tiger eye is all about. It's about personal power, authenticity, courage, roaring like the lion that we are instead of squeaking like a little mouse, right? And this is allowing us to really be bold. So we want to be bold in our spiritual practice and we want to be bold here. This symbol, this open hand, symbolizes your gifts, your talents, your skills, everything that you are meant to bring to the world. Okay, it's an open hand because you're giving freely, right? It's also an open hand because it asks the question, what do I need to receive in order to fully shine my light and bring these gifts into the world in a way that feels emboldened, that feels empowered, that feels so good that I can't wait to jump out of bed in the morning and go do this thing, right? And share my gifts, okay? So what do you need to receive to feel more emboldened? And what do you need? What are you giving to the world? And are you really letting that light shine, right? From that place of authenticity, not the little squeaky mouse, but the roaring lion, okay? And where you need to do some, I say, work around this is spiritually, this is on the masquerade mask. And that represents things that are hidden, things that you're not fully aware of. If someone is wearing a masquerade mask, you might kind of recognize them, but you're not 100% sure who or what energy is behind that mask, right? So this can be a little bit of shadow work, a little bit of shadowy energy, what you're not aware of in the surface mind. So this is deeper in the subconscious. So Spirit is saying, in order to more fully bring those gifts into the world and shine your light and find your courage, you're going to need to go dig in the dirt a little bit and see where is that courage and that boldness being dimmed down, and how can I extract that? So that can be a lifelong process. I'm not saying you're going to complete that in the month of June, but I am saying that you do need to focus on it. So give yourself some time and some energy. Maybe you're doing some meditation work, some journaling, some walking meditations, some rituals to peel back the mask and reveal what wants to come forward, what's been hiding, because it's afraid of that boldness, because it's afraid to expose itself. Maybe it was cut down in your childhood. Maybe that's part of the dagger, right? Where somebody told you, oh, you're not good enough to do that. And so you hid it, right, from the world. So these two are definitely connected in your work. And once you can kind of bring that back into the light and say, heck yeah, I'm doing this. I'm giving myself permission, because whoever told me I can't do this, they were wrong. And I'm just going to declare that they were wrong, and I'm going to reclaim my gifts. I'm going to reclaim what I am meant to bring. And the world needs all of the light that we can shine right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's pretty obvious. So if you haven't noticed, maybe pay attention. And then towards the end of the month, also look for, in this kind of shadowy realm, maybe some unfinished business that you haven't quite taken care of, right? This could be in regard to other people. It might be unfinished healing work. It might be something you've been hiding from. But this is going to be in alignment with Mercury going retrograde at the end of the month, which asks us to look at unfinished business. And this could definitely show up at the end of the month. Okay. So just to recap, trusting your intuition, leaning into that, going within and tuning into the higher self. We're doing some heart healing work. We're paying attention to where we are with romance, what we need to do, and we're making wise decisions that are heart healing, that aren't going to continue to harm us. Then we are bringing in this bold energy, the wonderful childlike wonder and awe. We are paying attention to our wounds, our little cuts, our little betrayals, and we are being in a space of the beginner mind, new beginnings, especially in the middle of the month. Then we are focusing on how do we express our emotions and how are we a safe space for others in our world. We're looking at our purpose and livelihood and balancing that with our spirituality in this grounded, safe energy. And we are emboldening ourselves to give our gifts to the world. And we're doing our shadow work so that we can more fully do that. So that is your month ahead for the month of June. Again, please feel free to revisit this. It's a lot and you might not remember. And some of these things might show up later in the month. So thank you for tuning in. And I really, really appreciate your time, your attention. And I hope that that was helpful and supportive and inspiring for you. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to look you in the eye and say thank you for being here for your month ahead reading. Please remember that I do personal readings, private readings. I also do parties and groups. You can look at the link in my bio and connect with me. I can do Zoom, I can do phone, and if you're in the Denver metro area, I do have on occasion an in-person opportunity. So hit me up and please check out all my other offerings. I make handmade malas, I do mala making workshops, and several other things. So very happy to connect with you. Very, very grateful. Let me know if you have questions in the comments. And please, again, follow me on all of my socials, which you can find on my link tree. And please share with your friends because I'm really wanting to grow this. I'm really wanting to share my gifts with more people and the world. Like I said, we need to uplift the world as much as possible. And this is one of the ways that I'm doing that. So I'm signing off now. And next up, I will be doing the week ahead reading. So that's going to be more focused on this week and it'll be a little bit shorter, but it'll give some guidance for specifically the week of June 1st. So happy June, everybody.